Just say this. There was an aged farmer and his wife, Homer and Ethel. They were leaning against the edge of their pig pen when the old woman wistfully recalled that the next week would mark their golden wedding anniversary. "Let's have a party, Homer," she suggested. "Let's kill a pig." The farmer scratched his head. Finally he said, "Gee, Ethel, I don't see why the pig should take the blame for something that happened 50 years ago." Now, a lot of times in events like this or gatherings like this, as Pastor Smith mentioned, it becomes a roast, where you kind of embarrass the guests of honor. And that's not, well, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like you might say, the ancient Greeks had a word for anniversaries, and he was there to hear it. Or you might say, "She's so old, her social security number is 7. But that's not why we're here today. We're here to help them celebrate. And in honor of that, I have a few prepared remarks. They have no idea what I'm going to say right now.
Scared to death.
Friends, family, thank you for coming. We're glad you could be here today to celebrate the marriage of my mom and dad. They're the ones sitting here on display. Way back when my parents first met, the world was a different place. There were no cell phones. There were no phones or personal computers. Everything moved at a much slower pace. Entertainment was simple. People got along. There wasn't all this violence and strife. Turn on the TV and the only lawmen you saw were Sheriff Taylor and his deputy Barney Fife. But we're not here today for a history lesson. Very quickly that can get old. Instead, I have something I'd like to say. It's a story that's never been told. From the time I was 12, right up to last week, there was some information I was trying to get. I've been doing my research for quite a few years, and I found out how these two first met. You'll find it's a tale of high drama. To uncover it, I searched high and low. It might not be a story that they would want to have told, but inquiring minds want to know. Back then, when you needed to fill up with gas, it was quite different from today, by far. They pumped your gas, checked your fluids, and you never even got out of your car. This was back in the late 1950s, a very different time in our great nation. A gallon of gas cost just 25 cents, and Galen worked at the local Shell station. His job was to give customers whatever they could possibly need, whether to fill up a gas, a clean windshield, or even just the restroom key. Now, it's a quiet Saturday afternoon, about 2 p.m. He's relaxing, not a customer in sight. He's sipping an orange soda. The air is still. I'm sure you can picture it in black and white. After a while, a car comes in, and the female occupants quickly got his attention. Their talking and laughter was what he heard first, even over the sound of the engine. He quickly approached the driver's side door, and he could see in the car were 4 girls. They all seemed quite nice, but the driver caught his eye. She was the one with the cute curls. While pumping the gas, he tried to look the other way. He didn't want her to think he was staring. But by straining to hear the girls' conversation that day, he learned that her name was Karen. With the gas tank now full, he walked back to her door, trying hard not to act very nervous. He said, "I can check your oil if you want. It's just part of our excellent service." She agreed with a smile, and he walked to the engine, so excited he may have appeared to be drunk. He searched all over, but he couldn't find the oil dipstick. Then Karen yelled out the window, "That's the trunk." He finally finished. Her gas tank was full. Her oil level was perfectly fine. Her tire pressure was good, windshield was spotless, and her hubcaps had a bright new shine. He collected the money and said, "Have a great day." But she looked at him kind of strange. As he stood there and waited for her to drive off, she said, "Can I please have my change?" Now, over the next few weeks, he asked all around town. He did a lot of walking and talking. He tried hard to find a way to contact this girl, though some would consider it stalking. Now, finally they met and had their first date. He thought, wow, I finally arrived. Now, the details of that outing, I'll gladly relate on Anniversary 75. After a while, they got married, got a small apartment on the first floor. They had a child, and that was so great, they said, hey, let's have 2 more. Now, there's more to the story, but that's all I'll say. I've used up my time and then some. The best I can do is congratulate you and wish you many, many more to come. Now, while they're up here, I would like to have either one or both, whatever you prefer, tell your version of how you first met. Now, I can't verify the facts on this version, but I think we'd all like to hear. We only have the room till 6 o'clock.
Well, the reality is that at the time I was dating Karen's boyfriend. Or no. I've changed a lot since then.
We need to dismiss the kid.
Actually, Karen was dating my best friend, and I was dating her best friend. That's the way it went. She was a girl. And, during that time period, I sort of had my eye on Karen. Well, circumstances would have it, she and this fellow broke up, and then I broke up for some reason. I have no idea why with the girl. And we began dating. We dated 3 years. What was it? We were 7 then, right? 7 and 6. And but we dated 3 years, and we finally decided it was love. And I went picked her mom up from work one afternoon. She was quite surprised to see me. She may have had an idea why I was there. Karen's mom and dad were divorced when she was a little girl, and and her mom was the one taking care of her. Many of you remember her, Mary Davis, came to church with us here for a number of years. But anyway, I asked for Karen's hand on the ride back home, and she said, "Don't you want me to teach her to cook first?" Well, if you know us, and me in particular, her cooking didn't fail. I gained considerable weight after we got married. She fed me very well, and we were in a little. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. The living room, dining room was one room, and the kitchen was, I think they call it a galley kitchen. It's one of those kitchens where you barely have room to change your mind. Or as my dad used to say, you couldn't cuss out a cat without getting a mouthful of fur in it. Anyway, that's, and our pastor at that time, we were in Columbus, Ohio. We went to Calvary Bible Church, and our pastor was William E. Ashbrook. And one evening, unexpectedly, he dropped in to visit the newlyweds, right in the middle of getting ready to do laundry. There was dirty clothes. There were dirty clothes all over the place, and that was quite an interesting visit. But we loved him, and we were sure he loved us, and understood that newlyweds have dirty clothes too. So, I've shared with several of you here today the fact that God has been so good to us. It really struck home when we got word of John and Kim losing their baby. Karen was pregnant 3 times, 3 healthy kids, And the youngest one, Sean over there, never had any childhood diseases, none of them. Scott, I think, what did Scott have? Measles? Chicken pox. And the middle one had chicken pox. Sean didn't have anything. No broken bones. No, 3 boys. No, I think we had a cut lip or 2 maybe, but nothing dramatic. No trips to the emergency room. God's just been so good to us. So good. And we're so grateful to Him for all that He's done for us. And now we've got not only 3 healthy boys, we've got 6 healthy grandkids. And the Lord gave us 3 daughters in spite of that. All of our daughter-in-laws are very close. There's no in-laws and outlaw problems that we're aware of anyway. There may be, but we're not aware of it, for which we're very thankful. So, and we, as long as the Lord leads us here, we plan to stay together. And I've joked several times over the last month or 2 that if it lasts till the end of July, we'll be married 50 years. And thankfully, again, it lasted. So here we are, and we truly thank all of you for coming. It's such a joy to see all of our friends and brothers and sisters in Christ. Oh, there's Linda back there. He said you were coming. How's Cracker Barrel? Did they close early today? But we love all of you. We really do. This is part of our extended family here. And, Hillsdale has been part of our life since back in the mid-'80s. And Pastor Smith was a youth pastor there. Just a kid himself. And now look at his hair. He's trying to catch up with me. And I saw Lou Ann here someplace. Lou Ann is, oh, there she is, yeah. Remember Pastor Brad? Pastor Bradshaw was, we originally came to Florida because I had some health issues. And when I couldn't be in church on Sunday, he was the most understanding guy. And Pastor Smith is too, but he, I think he had experienced some health issues in his life and his family's lives and all, and so he was very understanding with those things, for which I was very grateful. Now, if I can't make it on Sunday, I just turn on the computer. And, that's good, but it's not as good as being together with our dear brothers and sisters. Okay, dear, your turn.
Well, I don't know what to say. I think you said it all. We thank you so much, all of you, for being here to help us celebrate this. You don't think when you get married that one day you'll be married 50 years. You just don't think that far in advance, because we were only 8 and 10 when we got married. So you just don't think that far in advance. So we thank you for coming to celebrate. And we thank our boys and their wives and our grandchildren for making this time possible. For all their hard work and the nice words about their mom and dad. So thank you very much.
Some of her family didn't think it would last either. We just learned recently that was sort of the opinion among the aunts and uncles. It'll never last. Showed them, didn't it?